meep, meep. And then off he speeds. And there's sounds of explosions and impacts with the occasional interruption of super genius. And then another big explosion and one final meep, meep. If it makes no sense to you now, I hope it does soon. Even chaos can have rules that make sense when what you're running from and chasing after actually need each other to make any sense. Thus is the chi of Roadee and Coyote. And it's time for another unbuckled bumpy ride with your guide, the stark raving Lean-atic himself. I'm Jim. Let's jump right in again. Welcome to my podcast based on my brand new book, available on Amazon, Live Life Lean, L-E-A-N. It's a year-long guide to gratitude and our daily grind. The book that combines some timeless wisdom from a whole lot of the world's wiser people with the reflections, reactions, and wisecracks of the guide's author, me. And it guides you, the reader, through the simplest system for a happy, healthy, authentic, and genuinely grateful everyday experience. I urge you to get the book. Of course I do. I wrote it. It's either at Amazon or at my website, ampurage.com. A-M-M-P-U-R-A-G-E. But even without it, let's make next week better than last, our next year better than the past, and get started now with today's episode of Meep Meep, or Beep Beep, or whatever. Both believe, I think, are accurate for a cartoon Roadrunner, and yet neither make any sense. I mean, because real-world Roadrunners, they kind of cuckoo-ca-choo their way through life, and they sound more like fun little puppies than a Fiat horn. And super genius, or worse, total silence, with like a wrinkled facial expression and then a handheld sign that pops up and supposedly speaks for the cartoon Coyote. Well, that's nothing like the real world either, because they're just a bunch of yelping, yapping, howling, that's what a wild coyote is, not a wily one. So such is the story of animation's most, famous coupling of a coyote and a roadrunner, okay? But this is not their greatest irony. No, that greatest irony would be how the very definition and purpose of their characters couldn't even exist without the other. See, they were a necessary life-sustaining balance that both fed each other and fed off of each other. Kind of like a life energy, a chi of sorts. It was their chi to be, just their existence. Call it the chi of Roadee and Coyote. Okay, and they've got a lot more in common with our chis, excuse the pun, than you and me, we all want to realize sometimes. See, all right, let's look at them. So the Roadrunner and Coyote in question, you're likely familiar with him. The Roadrunner just kind of zigs and zags his way all the way from Zuma to Petaluma. He's just satisfying his need for speed, his need for birdseed, and he's not bothering anyone. Then there's the Coyote, who connives and calculates, usually miscalculates, his attempt to course a track to make the Roadrunner his personal 4-course meal. But he always ends up somehow eating more humble pie crow and cartoon concrete than anyone else could stomach. And yet, he keeps coming back for more. Chasing the Roadrunner is his reason for being. And it's the essence of his life energy, and it will not be deterred. He even feeds the blindingly fast bird. Interestingly enough, using as a trap, or at least an attempt, never catches the Roadrunner with the seed bait, but instead, ironically, he's giving his prey exactly what it needed to get away. And then there's Roadee. Well, while his carb loading might have actually came from the Coyote, what he seemed to love most was the chase. The speed and the sensation of actually being chased kind of gave him the best chance to be his best self. The Coyote had a cause that never ever got put on pause so long as the Roadrunner was still there to be caught. Roadee set the pace with every chaotic chase. Through imaginary painted-on mountain tunnels and in the presence of dynamite bundles, Roadee's very reason to run, without the Coyote, wouldn't have been nearly as much fun. Guess what? husbands and wives, we can live similar lives. Not that one gender is generally more the predator and the other one the prey, but more that each play their part in providing purpose for their partner. What sometimes seems so much like conflict can really be a little complementary for their counterparts. What she sometimes does to chase down answers, while it seems like all he just wants to do is just wander down that road ahead and see what's there. Or when, let's say, what he does to attempt to construct perfect, predetermined outcomes, and it just ends up dropping a baby grand piano's worth of pain on his melon head, while she just shrugs it all off and smiles all the stressful stuff in their life away. We can be like that sometimes. We all can be like Roadee and Coyote sometimes. Sometimes an awful lot. But what may sometimes feel like conflict and what, to the casual viewer and observer, may appear to be a contrast, might just be complementary energy that our lives need to be complete. If we will just accept that our reason for being, how, and reason for being who we are, it might not even exist as we know it, without someone to chase or someone to run from. Meep, meep. Now, more wise words to wow your socks off from the Lean Guide itself. Entry number 216, I think. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. Plato. And the guide's point of view on this? The Coyote had lots of knowledge of how to catch the Roadrunner, and every explosion, faceplant, and canyon fall brought that varmint to justice, and a double dose of gravity. What do you think about this, and how can you relate? What have you learned about this that's important that you want to hang on to? What have you earned recently that wasn't just easily handed to you? Where are you working to or have successfully added to the world around you? Now stop, appreciate, look, and navigate somewhere next. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying your copy of the Live Life Lean, LEAN guide, enjoying it almost as much as I did creating it. And if you don't have a copy yet, go on over to ampurage.com or Amazon and get started today experiencing the amazing power of knowing every day is literally yours to be grateful about, and you need never feel unfulfilled again. I'm Jim Hall, and until next time, good health, God bless, and now go get a little dirty learning something new, earning what's not given to you, adding to this crazy world that we share, and navigating your way to something new and next.